Yes, sir.
How are you this morning?
Good. How are y'all?
All right. Hey, let's go ahead and get started if that's okay.
Yeah.
Your timing to speak to you is good. I'll share with you in just a second, but we have with us this morning Jake Hammond. He's the Career and Technical Education Supervisor for Wilson County Schools, and hope everybody's doing all right. Good to see you guys. Uh, Schools, lots going on, but I spoke the other day with Sherry Brashears at, I believe, Wilson Central, and about a survey of business climate trends and things like that. So CT's top of mind for me right now, but glad you're with us this morning. You can share a little bit about maybe what you do, a little bit of how businesses might be able to get connected or engaged, supportive of what you're doing, and what CTE means to the students in Wilson County schools. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll kind of share this with you. I've put a little something together because that way I can stay on topic. But like I said, I'm Jake Hammond. I'm the Career Technical Supervisor. I'm also over STEM education in the county as well. And we have ROTC programs that we work through as well, that we have at all of our high schools now. But career technical education right now, it's more crucial than ever. We've saw that with the layoffs of COVID and where the essential workers really are and what we're trying to get students prepared for. But here in Wilson County, we have 121 different courses that we offer, and I'll kind of go through some of those. And we have 82 teachers, and we are at all the high schools. We offer different programs. We dig into industry credentialing, industry certifications, some dual enrollments, and a big push and where y'all can help is we have a big need for work-based learning as our juniors and seniors get ready to get out in the workforce, to try to give them some opportunities to get some real hands-on experience, whether it's paid or unpaid or job shadowing, things of that nature, to help them get prepared once they leave. Because we have several that'll go to a 2-year, 4-year, or some of them go straight to work. So we want to make sure we have the students best prepared, but they're the best needs at heart when we go through some of this planning. We do use a lot of job market data. She had reached out from Wilson Central. Each teacher has to at least have 2 advisory council meetings and members per year. So they look at their program of study, whether it's ag, business, health science, et cetera. They reach out to local businesses to find local market trends, job trends, some skills that they may not be necessarily in our standards, but what's going to help that student be successful to come work in businesses within the area. So they reach out on a biannual basis to at least have a meeting. It's been virtual this year, of course, or just an email or a phone call to try to get some more information so we can best prepare these students. We have many dual enrollment industry certification opportunities, college credits for TCAT at Hartsville and Wilson County campus. We have a lot of Ball State collaboration with a lot of dual enrollment there, and then MTSU is our other big partner that we offer a lot of different opportunities. But we're actually Wilson Works is a new thing we've gotten started with the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce as well, and try that we can work on more partnerships like that to try to get our work-based learning tied into it as well. But kind of per high school to kind of give you an area. So your Mount Juliet area, we have Green Hill High School, obviously our new one, and then Mount Juliet High School. I was an ag teacher at Mount Juliet for 5 years, then assistant principal there with Mr. Brown. And so I know that I lived in Mount Juliet, so I know the area very well. And these programs of study, we have some really unique ones at Green Hill High School. We have a megatronics program that's we're getting, and also a robotics program through some GIVE grants through Governor Lee's help secure those. And we have a advanced manufacturing with TCAT. We have Mr. Brendos, a teacher there, who's teaching all of the robotics, all of the megatronics pathways there. We do have really good ag programs at both schools. And then we have architecture and construction which is our drafting and our residential type drawing programs at Green Hill. We do have audio visual programs at both schools. And we have Miss Duncan at Green Hill High School, Mr. Peach at Mount Juliet High School. We have a local news network they do for the schools every day. And then Miss Duncan, she's actually decorating short films, and students write short films and whatnot. We have business courses, finance courses, a variety of health science courses. We have students at both schools that have the opportunity to get their CNA license before they graduate. We've added a medical assistant this year. So a lot of the doctor's offices in the area that have some of those entry type positions, check vitals and whatnot. And we have some of those certifications we're starting this year as well. We have pharmacy technician certifications within health science the students can earn before they graduate. We actually have a physical therapist, or it's a PCT, patient care tech, that we've added as well in the Green Hill High School to try to have those for personal trainer type certifications. And we do have culinary at Green Hill High School. 2 teachers there started a wonderful program. They just got in their kitchens, I think, about 2 weeks ago, but they're excited to get going. We'll have a culinary program there as well. We have IT at both schools. We'll have coding, cybersecurity, and we have web design. So we have students kind of in all 3 facets there of IT at both of those schools. Criminal justice, we have that one at both schools as well. Kind of the introduction to criminal justice. We have a lot of partnership with All-State there. And that's where they're continuing to reach out and make more connections with MJPD, Wilson County. The SROs do a lot of help with us there as well. We have marketing programs, and the one that we're trying to add this year, kind of looking out for some more community resources in this as well, and talking with All-State, is a logistics program. We have, with all the logistics we have here in Wilson County, we're trying to figure out how we can get started with our logistics pathway for the job opportunities right out. So we're talking with All-State next week actually to see if there's some courses to help earn some kind of entry-level management logistics certificates with them. And then at Green Hill, we have the Army ROTC, and then we also have STEM programs. And that STEM program there at Green Hill High School, they'll compete with a rover for the NASA Challenge every year on an annual basis. And we have the engineering and a technology pathway within those 2. We'll skip, and then Mountain Dewey High School, most of the same pathways. The only additional ones they'll have as far as CTE is our education and training program, which is our pre-teaching program. This is where students learn the basics of teaching, fundamentals of teaching, and they get ready to transition into a post-secondary to earn their teaching certificate. And then we have Marine ROTC there, have 2 instructors there that do a phenomenal job. The same STEM programs, and we're going in criminal justice, IT, and then health science as well. So there's kind of a look at that end of the county. These are sort of Wilson Central and Watertown have as well. And CTE in general, kind of the model that we focus on is we call a 3-circle model. We have classroom instruction, we have shop, lab, hands-on type activities. We have a CTSO, which you've heard of, probably FFA, Skills USA, and those natures. So those encompass leadership, community involvement, and then in extension of those skills. And where you all can help, and where is that extended learning outside the classroom, that work-based learning, that job shadowing, those type of opportunities for students to get some more hands-on experience in the community and we want to grow our own. We want them to graduate, go to school, come back, or go straight to the workforce and stay within the area and raise their families here, because it is a great area. So that's kind of our big push in that model as well. We do offer what we call early post-secondary opportunities, and we have added a ton this past year in CTE. We have OSHA certifications, OSHA 10. So most of our ag students and our auto mechanic students at Central and culinary is actually going to offer this as well, but they'll walk out of the door with their OSHA 10. So they'll be ready to go direct to the workforce. They'll have that prepared as well. But we try to get them as many possibilities. We actually have an AP computer science course. So students have an AP opportunity within CTE, plenty of dual enrollment, and the industry certifications count as early post-secondary. We're just trying to get them as many as possible. And that's just kind of talking through the different opportunities that we have. The advanced placement dual enrollment, the local dual credit, which is with Ball State and Cumberland. We have some connections there as well. And we have some statewide dual credit where the state produces the tests for them to get intro college credit and then industry credentialing. So most of our CT students will walk out of high school with about anywhere from 6 to 9 hours of college credit already ready to roll, or 3 to 3 hours and possibly a couple industry certifications ready to the workforce recognizes to move in, such as OSHA 10 and whatnot. And with a lot of our health science, we focus more on the industry certs because that's what they're Vanderbilt and Summit have talked to us about. And this just kind of gives you some examples of what dual enrollment we have within the ag pathway. We have all of the intro courses for animal, plant, and business, ag business certifications, a couple state certifications that they go through. And so these students will actually have their intro course completed prior to graduating high school. We have some computer applications within Cumberland University, so they have a challenge exam. And so all of these cost student less than $100 to take. So they're very inexpensive. So they're open to most students are able to take care of these costs. And if not, we help support some of that cost, kind of going through there. And then, so we have Vol State, MTSU. TCAT's been a great partner here recently. We've added some more courses there too. We have some welding, some mechatronics, that would be at the Green Hill High School. And then Lebanon has the auto mechanics, and Wilson Central does. They have a dual enrollment agreement there. So students actually earn hour for hour, and they're about a third of the way through the program when they graduate high school. So that cuts off that time to getting straight to the workforce. So that's a great plus that TCAT's been able to partner with us as well.
Hey, Jake, when over the summer after the COVID outbreak in the spring, and they were talking about how they were going to address split classes, going a couple of days a week, online, whatever. If I'm not mistaken, one of the big concerns from parents, at least on social media, was the dual enrollment, AP classes, things like that. Were those going to fall by the wayside, and could the high schools accommodate those kinds of classes in a COVID environment? Did that pretty well all work itself out? And what have been the setbacks, things maybe you wanted to offer that the criteria how they could offer it maybe wouldn't satisfy a college requirement? What kind of setbacks did you have?
So we had a few setbacks in the automotive, getting things going. So they'll actually start that in January and start earning hour for hours. But as far as our other dual enrollment AP, our big change going to that year-long schedule, so courses don't end in December, made a huge change, because now, whereas if on the schedule we had in the past, it would have been very difficult, because students would have only been able to be in the classroom a couple of days a week. And if we had ended in December, that possibly could have put them at a disadvantage. But being able to go to this year-long schedule, all of our AP students have been able to, they'll test in the spring at one time. So that teacher gets to spend time with them all year, so that's been a good advantage. And then our dual enrollment, Ball State's been very versatile, and Cumberland as well. Most of it has been gone online. So students have access to that teacher a lot more. It's not necessarily the traditional setting where they're in the classroom with them. Of course, we know Mount Juliet High School, for example, and Green Hill both, they have middle schools involved now in those schools. So the space has become very tight as far as classroom opportunities for Ball State and Cumberland to come into the classroom. But they've been very adaptive and moved it online. And the feedback I've gotten from principals is it's worked out really well, because though they've actually, in the COVID world, I guess we could say, being online, those students can learn remotely because it's all online. Or if they need internet access, they're able to come to the school. We have some areas kind of spaced out in the library, so it's actually reduced some of our numbers that are physically in the building to help with that. Because we have some, we call them super dual enrollment students they're at Mount Juliet and Green Hill that are taking 4 and 5 dual enrollment courses through AP or through Ball State and Cumberland. So they come to campus a little bit during the day, but I mean, most of the part their learning can take place online. So if they have internet access at home and those resources, then they can, for the most part, learn from home. So it's been very good. Actually, I mean, transition, it was difficult to get started to wrap our mind around, but I think we had a good game plan, and the colleges were very flexible about how we can meet those. And
well, good. I have 2 more quick questions.
Yeah.
Earlier, you mentioned that one of the programs was coding. Yes. I know something that Wilson County Schools, it was almost a pet project of Dr. Wright. I believe it was called Smart Tech, a company that came in with perhaps Amazon ahead of time.
TechSmart. Yes, sir.
TechSmart. They had numerous teachers that were either handpicked or had volunteered for the program
Mhm.
to become teachers who knew how to teach coding.
Yes.
And there was a lot of excitement about it. They were going to start in maybe even the freshman year, and they were going to show real life jobs and what coding is. It's not just sitting there, doing, type, but there were real applications. And
Yes.
where have we lost touch with TechSmart, or are they still somewhat engaged?
We actually have a meeting with them today, but they've been very, very good to us. They've offered a lot of professional development for our teachers in that aspect. We actually have recently, we won a grant, found out last week, to expand it into the middle school. So we'll actually be able to offer to train those teachers, and we've actually been able to train them, and we've purchased some hands-on equipment so students can code on the computer, and we actually have going to purchase robots that they can hack and code and work their way up. So kind of give them a little more hands-on at the middle school level to try to pique that interest in our IT programs and coding programs. But our coding has actually grown this year with TechSmart's help. We actually have trained them through level 3 of coding, which is kind of the end of it. With Wilson Central High School, has it grown to 2-teacher program. So we've gone from 1 to 2 IT teachers there. And Mount Juliet and Green Hill both are able to offer, they have a teacher, and they're offering coding as well through TechSmart. So TechSmart's been a great partner as well, because we actually have they submitted their curriculum to Volunteer State, and we have an agreement with them where if they pass coding 1 and coding 2, they're getting 6 hours of automatic credit at no cost for their intro to IT at Vol State. So they've been
that's the teachers can also get certifications to help their personal careers as well, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Because in order to teach coding in Tennessee, they have to have a 6 hours of either coding on their personal college transcript, or they go to the TechSmart boot camp. So Volunteer State reviewed their boot camps that teachers go through, and they've agreed to offer that credit to those teachers. So we've actually been able to train additional teachers, and that's where this grant's going to help us as well, to take some of those middle school teachers who may not have necessarily the IT coding background and be able to train them and get their college credit as well. So
fantastic.
They've been some really good partners in that way.
Let me ask you one more quick question. You were talking earlier about the CTE program grants or whatever. I heard Dr. Wright, others probably did too, yesterday morning on the radio, and they were talking about the recognitions that they made Monday night at the board meeting, and she made note of 2 very significant grants. I don't remember who the grant came from, but it was directly aimed at the STEM programs.
Yes, that was myself and Miss Tracy Burge. She's our supervisor of middle school instruction, and we teamed up. And the state gives out. They use some Perkins federal funding grants to offer competitive grants at middle school to expand STEM or CTE programs. And so that's where we looked at. We have this great connection with TechSmart and Volunteer State, and we wanted to continue to grow that. So we reached out, applied. We actually won for West Wilson Middle School, won a grant for $8,500, and Watertown Middle School. So we're going to be able to train an additional teacher, which will open up some more opportunities for those students when they take their exploratory courses. Because in order to teach that coding, that teacher has to have that training on through TechSmart. So this is going to help us expand that at West Wilson Middle and Watertown Middle. So we'll be able to hopefully continue to grow those opportunities for those middle school students to explore within coding.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're good. Kind of where we were talking through on some of our industry certifications, kind of the goal or the transition of that. We're actually trying to expand into the middle school as far as CTE goes. So the middle school students do take an exploratory course, or maybe even a couple, depending on how their schedule allows it and what the school has opportunities for. And West Wilson Middle School has a great coding teacher. They have added. Mount Juliet Middle School actually has one as well. So they have STEM and coding. And so we're trying to bank some credits to middle school, actually. So we're looking to see if we could possibly offer a coding course for high school credit. We're still in the discussion with the State Department on that. We do have a course, though, that has been recently added, which is our computer applications course that's been allowed to be able to be taught at middle school. And so this course here is where students learn the ins and outs of Microsoft, Excel, PowerPoint. And so they can actually earn possibly an industry certification in the MOS, so Microsoft Office Specialist. So that is a course that we're going to look and see if we can possibly offer this next school year, if we can get have staff for that and give that opportunity to middle school students. So those middle schoolers will be that are possibly could have an Algebra 1, maybe even a foreign language. West Wilson Middle School has a Spanish teacher this year, which has been a great opportunity for them to get started in their Spanish, their foreign language, the middle school level, which opened up some more opportunity at the high school level for them to explore, take more advanced placement or more dual enrollment, or just try more courses in general. So we're just trying to get them college and career ready. So that's one course we're trying to see if we can get offered at the middle school this next coming year to add into that, so they can start banking all of these post-secondary credits and these industry certifications to get ready to exit. We have a strong presence for our military and Marine Corps at Mount Juliet, and in our Army program that just started at Green Hill High School. So we'll have several that'll enlist. We have about 5 to 10% of our population at those schools, Mount Juliet and Green Hill, will go straight to TCAT. We have a lot of students interested in welding programs, and we actually offer the dual enrollment welding for them as a junior and a senior. We have a lot of ours will go to Vol State to get started, or to Cumberland. It's local universities. That's our big enrollments through there. And then we have a lot at that'll go to UTK or to Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech's been a university that's started to expand, and students are becoming more interested in attending, just from trends that I've noticed throughout the past couple of years, especially in our engineering programs. Yeah. In our ag programs. So students are realizing, hey, it's just far enough from home, but it's not all the way to UTK. So they have been real excited to get into to Tennessee Tech. There you go. So we're excited there, and we have a good.
Ray, is that Wings Up or something like that? Is it Wings Up?
Wings Up, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So
I'm not mistaken. A few years ago at Mount Juliet High School's awards and scholarship day or whatever, I believe Wilson County Schools Wilson County is the #1 feeder. If the percentage of freshmen going to Tennessee Tech, the greater percentage comes from Wilson County Schools, if I'm not mistaken.
It could be, because I was an ag teacher, and I would probably say of those that I had go into a 4-year degree, at least 60% were probably deciding they were choosing tech for their post-secondary institution. So we have that. And then UT Martin has come on strong here lately. We've had a lot of our students interested in UT Martin.
I think that's something that sometimes gets lost on with these where kids can get their degrees and learn trades before they ever get out of school. If you're not familiar with somebody, a personal success story, it might just seem like another program, but one day having the opportunity to take a tour, I think might have been Bill Moss at the time anyway, we were touring the TCAT and just looking to see their various programs or whatever. And this young boy who was clearly not going to go to a 4-year institution, probably wouldn't even have went to a 2-year institution. That wasn't what he wanted to do, but he lifted up his welding helmet, and it was somebody that I knew. It was the son of a family friend.
Yeah.
And that boy was so on fire about welding. And I know that when he got done, he only had maybe some coursework or something in the summer after he graduated, and he was making $25, $26 an hour at Lochinvar, who had their eyes on him before he ever got out of high school. And I remember the TCAT director saying they don't usually get all the way through graduation there because the employers will come in and cherry pick and take them and finish training them. But that was the moment that I realized how important and how relevant these 121 different programs that you have can change the lives of those people and give them something that, and then also the financial implications of basically he had most of his training done and didn't have to pay to college, had no student debt. driving a pickup truck that most of us will never be able to even imagine at 20 years old or something crazy. So
Exactly.
and I want you to, if you would, before you finish, circle back around to the logistics and
Okay.
how we can help with that, because
Okay.
you are spot on. That and mechatronics they are huge. And we got 1,200 jobs that are going to need to be filled by probably the middle of July or August at Amazon, and tremendous opportunities for your students.
So these are just some examples of industry certifications within each program that we have. We've actually talked with Nissan, and Nissan uses FANUC robotics. So we're actually sending in February our STEM teachers. We've actually already purchased the robots, so they're here. So students will have that entry certification on a FANUC robot as well to get opportunities in there. And of course, you can see health science has a ton of different opportunities for students to get certifications in various fields. And then here's our brand new, our advanced manufacturing. They'll get the FANUC and the mechatronics certification with addition to OSHA. So that would kind of be one there. And we have a ton of CTSOs, and that's where a lot of them, you see them out in the community looking for support and community service activities and whatnot. So we have plenty of opportunities for those students. Those are just some examples we had. We actually, last year, our Lebanon and Wilson Central High School got to meet with Secretary of Agriculture, which was pretty neat. They got to meet with and talk with him at National FFA Convention. Of course, it's virtual this year, but that was some opportunity. And our ROTC, we can't commend them enough. They do a lot of cleanup and community service work. So if you know of anybody in need, you just send them an email, and they'll be there to get that taken care of. We have another carpentry. It's the Lebanon High School. It's our only carpentry program left, but we do have some great students and a great teacher that pushes students through that program, especially with our booming housing market. They're picking students kind of the same method. They're not even having to go to any trade school. They're training them on the job and making $20, $30 an hour right out of the gate. Our culinary program, they actually get ServSafe certified, so they'll have the industry certification and the safety aspect as well. These are actually on the right. That's Lebanon. I think yes, Lebanon High School students. They worked with to do their Skills USA contest. They have crime scene management. There's various different competitions they have to mock through. So they work closely with Lebanon PD to work through those. We have some ag mechanics students, and then we have our AV. They broadcast all of our ball games. At Mountain Juliet High School there, and there's another Mountain Juliet student. We had a rafter cutting competition and through our FFA program, so they learn through those. But yeah, can I kind of circle back to our logistics and where we need the help would be to basically, if we could get some more partnerships, we're going to start talking with Vol State to see what that is, and then what businesses we could get to partner with. We just need some business partnerships because we'll have students that'll get to their senior year and need actual work experience or work-based learning placements, opportunities to actually go and get some hands-on experience into that. Because we would love eventually to develop an apprenticeship program where students would complete their coursework, be dual enrolled at Vol State. So they're starting to earn their certificate, maybe in the evenings. And then during the last couple of blocks of school in the day, they can go to work or start getting some hands-on job shadowing type experiences with some apprenticeships. But internships, apprenticeships, work-based learning, where they're technically just employed with that business partner, and that's in all of our career fields. The more partners we can get, the more opportunities we have for students, because we have a lot that we have to really be careful around the hazardous labor within the job market. But a lot of those, we have a great work-based learning coordinator at the state now that comes in. So if you have a business that would be willing that aligns with one of our pathways, willing to take students on in a work-based learning setting, and he says they're worried about liability or insurance or things like that, or job skills or job duties, he's willing to come out, walk them through what they could and could not do, and things of that nature. And just more opportunity we can have for students to get some hands-on experience before they leave, to make sure they make the right choice. Because we too often, and y'all know stories too, they go off to 4 years and then they come back and they're like, I don't know what to do, So if they had some hands-on experience and had some actual work experience, they would kind of hone in on what they really wanted to do, and actually come back to the area if they had that opportunity. Because we had many and opportunities where they'll do the work-based learning with a couple businesses that go off, get their degree, come back, and they're rehired because they did such a good job when they were interning, kind of doing their work-based learning placements. And one company I do have to brag on, we have an internship program we started last year with Grade A Construction there in Mount Juliet. We have, I think we ended up placing 3 students there, and they set up an internship model where that student learns all the different facets of their job, from concrete, underground utilities, etc. And they go through that, and then they're paying them a very nice rate to be able to do that. And we actually have 2 that are going to school at night at MTSU while doing this during the day. So they're making money and going to school. And, and that's what I joke with one of them. He said, I'm still getting to live at home and make money and go to school at the same time and do something he loves with his hands. So they've been a great partner. We've just kicked that off with them, and I think that's going real successful. And we had a student graduate with their OSHA 10 certification, and based on their internship program, he was able to skip 2 weeks of mandatory training. So that was just one aspect we could sell that, and we sell that to students as well. It's like, hey, you may get to get out of training quicker and get to onto the actual job or work-based learning placement that you need to. So we were really excited to get into those. But
I'm glad you shouted out Grade A. That's a fantastic company. And according to Ken, I believe they have 14 or 17 interns from different, they come from Trousdale County, and they teach them how to trench, like you said, survey, train. I mean, it's just incredible. They're right out there on the construction site.
Yep.
One thing you didn't mention, a few years ago, the big thing was concrete, believe it or not. Does the TCAT or any of these 121 programs deal with, because there's a huge shortage of people who know how to do the concrete related stuff. Is that something you offer yet?
We don't. That's not one of our state approved programs yet. That has been brought up though, as more of that. We have a residential construction program at Lebanon High School, and they touch on it a little bit. They don't really dig deep into it. I did know MTSU reached out, and they have a concrete science program, I believe is the way it's termed.
Okay.
And I was talking with Ken at Grade A, and he said they actually have one of their interns is doing that. Starting that while they intern. So that's something that was added that we need to look at. Our ag mechanic students learn a little bit. It's one of their standards is foundational support, so they learn how to do the basics of laying footers and foundations and running a little concrete. But
Ken's incredible. I'll say that.
He is.
Well, as we wrap things up, does anybody have any questions? I hope, Jake, that you'll keep us on your list as you reach out to local businesses. I know that Melanie and her leadership team have spent an incredible amount of time. They've actually got some grant money. They've actually hired a director for workforce development, and it's something that will take a long time, but they got a great model in Rutherford County, and of course they've got the support from Nissan and stuff. But that's something that there's financial commitment behind now, and hopefully it'll be a countywide initiative to help bridge the gap between the education and the workforce for those people that, as you call them, homegrown opportunities.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up? Appreciate you all joining us. I hope that whatever decisions are made for the schools, Jake, I know it's a crapshoot every day. You don't know what you're going to do. Hang in there. We're proud of you guys, and we know that you have our students' best in mind. So with that, if I don't see any of you before the big day, I hope that y'all have a great Christmas. Ray, you're going to have an interesting few weeks as Congress sorts through the COVID relief program. Keep an eye on us. Don't forget the little people over here.
Yes, sir.
And I'll end with what I always do. Please, if you're going to shop, shop local. So
There you
I hope you all have a great Christmas. Jake, thanks again. Our
Thanks
best
for
to
having us.
Wilson County Schools.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.